I had a perfectly fine foundation and a new one hit the market, so I would go and buy it because I wanted to try it.
I am tired of seeing so much over consumerism.
Let me explain what overconsumption really is. In simple terms, it's buying more than you actually need, more than you can realistically use.
One of the best things that I've done on my Project Pan journey was literally unfollow every single makeup brand that I followed.
What has happened in American society that we have confused the acquisition of stuff with success? Is success having a giant walk-in closet filled with plastic organizers to hold all of your mass-produced clothing? Is success having an entire room dedicated to your collection of drugstore brand shower products? All of the stuff in these videos used to be money. And the way we humans get money is by giving away our most precious resource, our time. Somehow, big corporations have brainwashed us humans into believing that trading our time for money and then trading our money for Amazon finds is our purpose during our short time on this planet. But what if we rejected the idea that we're just one purchase away from happiness and embraced the idea that we have what we need, and instead we focused on nurturing our hobbies, our relationships, and our health? What if we let go of having a Pinterest perfect house and an Instagram perfect face and the insurmountable money and effort associated with that, and accepted that having a mid-looking house and a mid-looking face, but having flexibility, time, and good relationships is actually the goal? I bet we'd all sleep better, have more money, and be happier. But the choice is yours. Keep chasing the moving target of perfection, or lower your bar to focus on being content with the wonderful things you already have in your life.
I moved from Texas to Uruguay last year. Okay. One of the things that I'm struggling with the most is my overconsumption. I didn't realize how much of a problem I had until I moved here, because I'm finally finishing my products. When we lived in Texas, we had a 2-bedroom apartment. I had 2 IKEA drawers full of products, because what I would do is, I had a perfectly fine foundation and a new one hit the market, so I would go and buy it because I wanted to try it, and then I would end up with 2 open foundations that were halfway used, and maybe I liked one more than the other, so I would have like multiple open foundations at the same time. And I noticed here, because I finally ran out of the foundation that I brought with me, I went to buy a new one, and it was $50 for a drugstore foundation. So, it's kind of like a deterrent, because it's like, okay, over there I would have spent like $12-15. I know that drugstore products are a little bit more expensive now, but you can still find stuff within that range, right? And I was like, I would have bought it a long time already. Like, I would have never ran out, right? Like, I would have never allowed myself to get to a point where I'm scraping, like, no, I would have bought a replacement already and started using it already. And then I noticed myself using up my hair products. Like, I finished my little Olaplex. I need to open up a new one because I brought it back up. I'm finishing my top coat for my nails. And I'm like, that has never happened, which is crazy to say. And I know I know that this is not a problem that everybody has, but it is a problem that I had. And you cannot, I cannot tell you how hard it is to deal with those feelings here when I want to buy leggings, right? And you can order stuff online. I'm not saying you can't, you absolutely can. You can order stuff online, but it is way more expensive, and the spaces are smaller, right? Because we live in the city, so our apartment, the rooms are smaller, so I don't have like a place to put a shelf to store freaking purses, so I don't even have the space to hoard. So I have to really control myself and sit with those feelings of, I really, I watch the cute videos with like all the cute products and like my haul from this, and it makes me want to shop. But I really shouldn't here, so I won't. But it's also really satisfying to see myself using all the products and those behaviors changing, whether I want it or not. It's changing.
What do you mean these are all the body lotions that I own? Someone put me in rehab. This isn't even like a shameless haul, this is a shameful haul. Hi, my name's Nicole, I'm 26, and in 2026, I'm trying to rewire my brain to not give in to overconsumption. Because I currently have 13 body lotions and oils staring at me, and that is shameful. But I'm gonna take you through them to hold myself accountable. I actually just don't have any excuse, so feel free to shame me in the comments. So I'm going to go through the ones that I currently have open. I've got this Soap & Glory Righteous Body Butter. I want to say we're about, I don't know, 2/3? We've used about a third. We've got about 2/3 left. This smells gorgeous, very rich. Incredibly fucking difficult to put on though, it's pissing me off a little bit. I also have the Nivea Irresistibly Smooth one. This is for when I just need like a quick moisturiser. I find that this one takes a little bit longer to soak in than this one. So it depends on how much of a rush I'm in. This is phenomenal though, and definitely does the 48-hour hydration. And for a bronzing lotion, I'm going to keep reminding you all, you can use them whenever. You don't have to just keep them for summer. But I've got this one on the go. This feels like it's about here to me. It does feel quite empty. That didn't prove anything. And then I've got 2 oils on the go. I've got the Nala Baby Vanilla Cloud Nighttime Oil, and then this looks fucking gross, but it's the Coconut Hydrate Body Oil. Again, body oils I find really hard to sink in. And typically I have been keeping them for summer, but I'm trying to break that cycle. This one I'm working on because I feel like it's slightly more used than the Nala Baby. Now onto my unopened. Thankfully, I haven't bought all of these myself. However, I have bought a shameful amount of them. So within my like birthday and Christmas presents, because they're like, my birthday's November, my auntie always gets me like vegan skincare, body care, hair care, and she loves a Lush haul. So she got me the Sticky Dates body lotion and a Dream Cream body lotion. So I feel like these will have to be in the rotation soon, just because obviously Lush expires. And I've got a Sanctuary Spa body butter, Shea and Cocoa. Again, nice and diddly, so should be a nice quick panning session. Then I've got the Nala Baby body lotion in oat, coconut and hibiscus. This I'm very excited to use. I got it purely because it went viral on TikTok, which I know I need to fucking stop doing this. I've got the Liz Earle lavender body balm. I use this exclusively on an evening. This actually should have been in my opens. Never mind. Smells fantastic and is so nice after like an evening shower or bath. Slathering this on, combined with my pillow mist. I'm such a sucker for lavender, but like this shit knocks me out. Then I've got a Palmer's cocoa butter formula, not in the Tahitian vanilla. I've seen it go viral. It took every ounce of willpower in myself to not buy it because, you know, I've got far too many lotions on the go. But this is also phenomenal. I have this one. It's not vanilla, it's coconut, but it's Magnificoco body lotion from Soap & Glory. She is massive, so I feel like I'm gonna start small, work up, because then I'm gonna get through stuff quicker. He says, hopefully. I'm gonna come back to this video, and if I haven't, then slap on the wrist again. This is the Dove Summer Revived lotion. This is medium dark though. This is quite light, which is why I use this one at the minute. So this one I will allow for myself to only use in summer when I actually have time, because if I use this now, I'm going to look silly. If anyone I know or on here sees me do a haul of buying more body lotions, send me to jail immediately, because the fact I have 6 open is disgusting in itself. To then have 7 backups is insane. Like, why do I have 13? I work in marketing and I feel like I should be better at avoiding the marketing than this, but I'm hoping that my bank account thanks me by the end of the year, because this is disgusting. Let me know what collection is your highest of products. I think mine is currently body lotions on 13. And God, I think by the end of the year, I mean, I've got to use these 6, surely. So that would leave 7. If I then say let's use 3, 8 this year. That's quite a challenge, I think. But I feel like I use way more lotion in the summer, so I feel like if I can counteract that in summer by, like, I don't know. I should moisturise more in winter than I do, to be fair, because it's a very drying month. But we'll see. I want to have like 4 left by the end of the year. I'd be happy with that, because 13 down to 4 is a pretty good shift. But we'll see how we go. Catch you in the next one.
This might be a hot take, but sometimes when I look at influencers and their PR unboxings, it makes me wonder if influencers are the modern day hoarders.
I'm not gonna buy any new clothes at least for Q1. That's exactly what I said a little over a month ago, and I thought that it was time for a 1.5 month update. Let me just start off with the couple exceptions that I made when it comes to clothing shopping, and that is that I had exceptions for designer bags and shoes, oh, and coats. Just because I know that I am not really an impulse buyer when it comes to those type of things, I really think these things through. They're a bit of a bigger investment because I more so opt for not fast fashion brands when it comes to these type of purchases. So that is what I did keep in mind. But I have to say that I didn't even do those buys. The beginning of the month was actually quite easy, maybe also because of New Year's and just me being busy with work, but it started to become a bit more complicated when I started having speaking opportunities in live settings with color themes, and I felt like I needed a new outfit. Now I'm proud of myself because I didn't do it. I stuck to what I have in this closet, and it also made me realize how many items I have in my closet that I only wore once or not even once. They still have tags on it. And I got complimented on those outfits. So it made me realize that I still have plenty of options in my closet that are still fashionable enough. So I really don't need any new clothes. There were two little hiccups. One being that I placed an order with Wonderdoll, which is the fit that I'm actually wearing. And I placed that order in December, end of December, and it arrived just 2 weeks ago. I think because of Brexit, which felt like I was a bit cheating because these are new items, but I ordered them in December, so it actually doesn't count, even though it still feels like cheating. I also wasn't able to send the majority back just due to when it arrived, return policies, a whole bunch of things. But with that being said, I want to be honest about that. Those were 3 new items that I had received that were actually from a December purchase. Another one was I was traveling to London and I literally forgot some plain black socks. Now, I don't think that they're considered clothing items, but I had to purchase a pair of socks at Boots. Still clothing, still want to be transparent, so that is what I got. And I did make one purchase, which was a pair of Miu Miu sunglasses that I had on my wish list. Again, I think it's more so accessories, so I don't consider them clothing. But again, for transparency reasons, that's what I purchased. So all in all, it was actually pretty good 1.5 months. And I actually think that it's going to be a bit easier for the upcoming months. I feel like that first urge of like ordering something or getting something is in the beginning, hopefully. And I already had some social events which normally trigger me to purchase that I ended up not doing. And I got complimented on what I was wearing, which also gives me more confidence in just repeating outfits or create new fun combinations with the stuff that I already have. So I'm wondering, because I know that there were a couple of people in the comment section on the previous video that were like, I am going to join you. How has it been going? Know that you're not alone. As you can see, I haven't done it perfectly either, but I think not spending any money on clothing in Q1 is actually possible. And if I can do it, to be fair, then you can easily do it too.
Let's normalize just using and wearing the shit we already have. I feel like in the fitness space, everyone's always trying to push new workout clothes, new workout shoes, new backpacks, new supplements and powders and blah, blah, blah. It's not necessary. The gym, you literally just need your body and some water. That's really it. Like, the gym can be easily sustainable. I've had this shirt for like 8 years now. I got these pants not too long ago, but it's because I'm the heaviest I've ever been and your girl needs some clothes, okay? I looked like I was busting at the seams. This sports bra, this Young LA sports bra, I've had for like 2 years. And these shoes, these Solomons, I'll probably have for at least another 2 years because the Solomons I had before this, I wore them into the ground. Like, you could literally see the earth through the shoe. And on top of that, my gym bag, this North Face backpack, I have used this since my freshman year of high school. I'm 25 this year. That's almost 10 years. So it just goes to show, like, you don't need all that extra shit, okay? And for a pre-workout, you don't need to be buying fancy supplements and powders, guys. It's the last thing you need to be buying. Just go buy some honey, go buy some Celtic salt, and drink some espresso, black espresso, and you're gooch.
Alright, it's time to talk about what we're not going to buy in 2026 as a girl who is trying to save up for a house and works a minimum wage job. So some of these are eco-friendly choices that I'm choosing to switch to help the environment. Others are just because I don't need them and I don't need to waste money on them. So the first no-buy item of 2026 is paper towels. I already have a set of reusable paper towels that comes on its own roll that I can just throw in the wash with my laundry. And these are so much better for the environment, and I've just found in the last few months that I don't need them and it's an unnecessary expense. So no more paper towels. This one's a hard one for me. I will not be buying any more reusable bags. Now, if you know me, you know every TJ Maxx purchase comes with a new bag. But I have so many that I have started having to sort them by holiday and take them out because there's just so many bags. So I'm going to be really, really conscious about keeping some in my car and setting out the seasonal ones and making sure I use those and bring them with me so I don't need to buy any at checkout. The next one is gift wrap. So I have a huge stockpile of wrapping paper, gift bags, gift boxes, everything because I love to gift. And I love to wrap. But I have so much that it's kind of overwhelming, and so I'm trying to use up what I have, and then once I run out, I want to use more sustainable things, like putting things in baskets from the thrift store and kind of decorating them nicely, and maybe use some old fabric, tie things up, just something that does not involve these big rolls that end up going in the garbage anyway. I will also not be buying paper coffee cups anymore. So I work a job later now, so I don't have to be at work until 8:30. So I have plenty of time to enjoy my coffee in the mugs that I love and I have, and I will continue buying because they bring me joy. But I don't need the paper disposable ones to bring with me to work. And so instead I'm going to invest in one from the thrift store that if I need to have a reusable cup, then I can bring it. But otherwise I will just be using my mugs at home. This may be controversial, but dog toys. I have the best little dog in the world. There he is guarding me from any intruders. But he is not a destroyer of toys. So he pretty much has every single toy I've ever bought him. So I will not be buying any more unless he decides to start destroying them. And my dad loves my dog and he loves to buy him toys. So he will still be getting at least one new toy a month, but there's no reason for me to spend money on that. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok add this to their no-buy list, and I totally agree. Cheap jewelry. I don't wear jewelry a lot to begin with. I'm a teacher in preschool, and so I'm just asking for it to get tugged on and broken. So I found this year that I only wear it on special occasions, so I figure I might as well save up my money, buy something nice and durable that's going to last for those holidays for years to come and not worry about wearing them while I'm at work. Clothes in general, but especially pajamas. I have 2 sets of pajamas where I have summer ones and winter ones, and I put the other ones away, and there are just so many. They don't fit in my drawer anymore, and there's really no need for that. Like, you only really need enough to get you from one laundry day to another. So I will not be buying any pajamas, and any other clothes that I do buy, I want them to be from thrift stores or local shops. Definitely no online shopping. No, and no fast fashion. Another one that's going to be hard for me is stationery products. So I love planners. I never finish them. I'm too busy to actually use them enough, and I'm pretty organized, so I don't need them. And notebooks, I have so many. Pens, markers, everything. Like I said, I'm a preschool teacher. I have plenty of these things in stock. Everything you could ever need for a craft project or for planning, I have it. I don't need to buy anymore. I will not be buying sponges. This is a weird one. Not a lot of people probably will do it, but I love Scrub Daddies and I got really into them, and I would buy bulk packs from like Costco, and I have so many that I just have not used because they're so durable that it takes me a really long time to go through them. And I have one designated for each room for cleaning so that there's not even any cross-contamination of the germs. Is that a thing? But I do not need any more for at least another year, if not more than that. And last one that is probably going to be the hardest for me is not buying food just for me takeout wise. No solo coffee trips, solo dinners because I don't want to cook. I need to embrace the single serve meal life, and I've found some pretty good microwavable meals as well as different quick meals that I can whip up after work, but I cannot spend that much money because the prices at restaurants have skyrocketed. It's terrible. And so I won't be doing that. I will still let myself spend money on it if I'm going on a date with someone, going out for a lunch, that kind of thing, but never if it's just for me. There's always a better option. What are you guys avoiding buying in 2026? I'm curious. Maybe there's something I should add to my list.
There's a rise in conversations about underconsumption. And I know everyone's talking about it, but it's not really a trend. It's actually backed by research because I wanted to make some understanding of like, why are so many people nostalgic? People who didn't live through the 90s, why are they so nostalgic about the 90s? Well, it's because life was simple. It was such a time to be alive. But what does the research say about why there's a push now to get back to underconsumption? Underconsumption could be buying less, using what you already own, wearing what you already have, or avoiding constant upgrades even though society is pushing you to buy more. It's basically the opposite of overconsumption culture. Research says there's some factors why it's trending now at this time. Rising cost, burnout from constant purchases. There's a deeper awareness of the environmental impact as it relates to fast fashion. People are realizing that more stuff does not equal more happiness. There's some interesting research about behavioral economics. There is a concept called the hedonic treadmill. It essentially means that you get used to things really fast. Buying more gives you short-term dopamine hits. Now, for those of you who love to talk about neuroscience as I do, this one is important. You have to understand that a lot of this overconsumption is emotional, but it's also neurological at the same time. Your long-term happiness is not going to come from constant consumption. And people that tell you that if you just buy it, have you ever really wanted something and then because you couldn't get it and then the moment you had enough money, you're just like, I really don't care about all this stuff. It's kind of like wanting what you can't have or feeling like purchasing is going to fill some void or that you need all these things. And there's a push to get back to experiences and not just the accumulation of pointless items or objects. Simplicity actually reduces stress. Studies show that clutter actually increases your cortisol. This is why I talk so much about environment engineering. Fewer possession equals better focus, better mental clarity. Again, this architecture or environment engineering, the studies show consistently that if you have less stuff, okay, if you're not over consuming, even in your environment, you need it to be free of clutter because it actually allows you to think and it gives your brain time to process direction. That's why you don't eat in your bedroom. You don't bring certain snacks to your desk. Everything has to have a home in this process. That's because it's all about how your brain processes information. And your environment impacts your brain, whether it's negatively or positively. Overconsumption also drives waste and pollution if you care about the environment. Fast fashion alone creates massive landfill overflow. Underconsumption gives a lower environmental footprint. You can wear an outfit 2 times, okay? And even more than that if you desire. You can repair items instead of replacing them. You can start to make purchases intentionally and not impulsively. Bigger shift is about minimalism or intentional living. It's about financial independence. So it's less about having less and more about needing less.
Some people just have way too much time and money. So I just learned the term fridgescaping and I'm horrified. It's an entire genre of influencers, little did I know. Some people even do weekly fridgescaping themes. Yes, weekly. You guys, people are putting picture frames and fairy lights and a bunch of other just odd decor in their fridge. What's next? Decorating inside our microwaves and ovens? Like, come on. And the fridgescapers will argue that this is supposed to reduce waste, but I think it's one of the most wasteful things I've ever seen. And this is so different than just having a clean and organized fridge. But I wouldn't call this organized. I would call this a cry for help. And how are you reducing waste? You would forget that your stuff is behind all this decor. I just can't believe we've gotten to a point in society where we are giving our fridges an aesthetic. Consumerism will really trick people into romanticizing quite literally anything, apparently.
Overconsumption is a poison, and it is literally weighing us down. I'm trying to clean the house right now, and there's just too much of everything. Too many clothes, too many bags, too many shoes, too many things that I don't even need, I don't even use, I don't even want anymore. And it makes me feel so sick. It is literally weighing me down. I'm trying to clean things, but I literally can't. I can't organize, I can't clean because there's too many things. What we have to realize is that buying things is not just about buying them. When you buy something, you have to find a place to keep it. You have to find a way to take care of it, to maintain it. Oh, oops. You actually own it now. You own it forever unless you find a way to get rid of it, or if you can even be bothered to get rid of it, you own it forever. And you have to have a place to keep it in. And the more you own, the less space you have. And it can feel cluttery, and it can clutter your mind as well. And it's just gonna weigh you down. Even with food, overconsumption is not talked about enough in terms of food. A lot of us waste food, even though we don't mean to. We just buy too much food, or we cook too much food, we keep it in the fridge in hopes of eating it later, consuming it later, but then we don't, and then it goes bad, we have to toss it out. Oh, it's so terrible. It just genuinely makes me feel sick to my stomach, because there are millions of people out there without anything. And I have too much, and it makes me feel so greedy. I'm not even trying to be ungrateful. I am grateful that I have these things, that I can afford these things. But the thing is, I don't need all of it. There's way too much. And I think we've all been poisoned to think that we need to constantly buy things. Or we need a new air fryer, we need new clothes, we don't have anything to wear even though our closet is literally full. Oh, we need a new pair of shoes that just came out. We need the new bag that's trending. No. Literally, we could just live with what we absolutely just need. And I'm not trying to dictate your life, it's just that if you can relate to it, I think a lot of people can. Owning too much can weigh you down. It literally clutters your mind, makes you feel anxious. Anyway, that's it. Thank you.
One of the best things that I've done on my Project Pan journey was literally unfollow every single makeup brand that I followed. Because, like, my problem always lied with makeup shopping and overconsumption when it came to makeup. So unfollowing those brands and not having that content pushed in my face every 2 seconds was a game changer. Like, doing a social media audit is probably one of the most non-negotiable things you could do during a no-buy or low-buy year. See if there are any, like, shopping or discount pages that you follow that make you feel like, oh my god, like, I need to go buy this because it's on sale, because, like, I went through that all the time. And brands are gonna market product. They're gonna market every new launch. They're gonna market technique using their product. And that's gonna make you want to buy it. And a girly who has ADHD like me, out of sight, out of mind. Like, that one thing alone truly changed everything for me.
Welcome back to another episode of These Companies Keep Selling You Stupid Ass Shit Because You Keep Buying It, featuring all of the ads for the shit that I've seen on TikTok this week. Let us begin. You do not need a special photo album for these, like, little photo booth photos. How many of those are you really taking? You could just put them in, like, a regular scrapbook. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. This one really pissed me off. You don't need a mini office note carrier pigeon. You pass notes to your coworkers inside of this pigeon. That is so fucking stupid. Just send a text message or, like, put a post-it note on their desk. You do not need, first off, any more Labubus. You don't need Care Bear Labubus. Quit spending your money on this stuff. You don't need some fast fashion dinosaur cardigan. Go to the thrift store. There are so many clothes at the thrift store. You do not need to be buying your clothes off of the TikTok shop. You don't need this gigantic marshmallow cloud bedding. How are you going to wash that? Honestly, tell me. How? How are you going to do that? You don't need some shitty TikTok shark purse. You will never use that. You don't need that. That's stupid. You don't need a hoodie that has 2 arms but 2 head holes. Cuddling hoodie. You don't need that. That's stupid. Just get under a blanket. You don't need a tiny briefcase. Has a shitty card in it. And also fake money that says, "I'm just a girl" card. Can be used to get out of anything. For the love of God, quit buying this shit. I don't really know what else to say about that. Like, who's buying that? This series could literally go on and on forever because people just keep creating like the stupidest shit and then like putting it on the market for us to spend our hard-earned money on. And yes, I'm going to keep making these videos because in the event that you think you need a stupid-ass carrier pigeon or a mini pink briefcase with a stupid-ass card in it, I'm here to remind you that you don't need that shit. That's stupid. Quit spending your money on stupid shit. Hope this helps.
Hi, I'm an environmentalist, and let's react to this video. Let me explain what overconsumption really is. In simple terms, it's buying more than you actually need, more than you can realistically use, and more than the planet can keep up with. I don't mean to be negative, but we are entering a point where we soon will not be able to repair the environment. And this type of behavior, overconsumption, should not be idolized because it's harmful for you, for me, animals, and the planet. What do you think that we as a society could do to help our environment? Let me know in the comments.
Okay, I do love perfume talk. I do love body care talk. I love watching all those influencers. I love taking scent advice from them. I love just seeing them try out things. Yes. But on the other hand, I don't know if I'm now contradicting myself. I feel like the overconsumption is just like sickening. Like it's getting out of hand and it's like I just saw someone do like another like Target body care haul and I'm like, you don't need any of that. Like, not only do you not need it, you're not going to use it. Like, you will forget about it. And like, there's really no way to justify it unless you're giving it away to a women's shelter after first trying it or like, you know, reviewing the scent. Because I know that is their job. That's another thing. That is their job. That is like a lot of people's main income, which is amazing that they can make money off of, you know, their opinion on what scents are good, whatever. But after they do the review of the scents, if they don't give it away, then it is going to waste. It's overconsumption. Like, for me personally, like, that's the gluttony that God talks about in the Bible. Like, that's the greed that God talks about in the Bible. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just really, like, not sitting right with me. It's just...
Get ready with me while I talk about the problem of overconsumption on this app. For context, I took a TikTok break for about 4 years. So the last time I was on TikTok, TikTok Shop didn't exist yet. I feel like this gives me a unique perspective because I wasn't around when there was the slow rollout of TikTok Shop. It was just kind of, I joined, it was pushed in my face, very obviously. There was no like transition period. I feel like as a society, we've kind of lost the plot of what it means to feel joy, and our dopamine receptors are literally fried, and we need this like constant dopamine rush of buying something new and getting excited about it. What we don't account for is the harmful impact that buying all of these material things has on us, on the planet, on these impoverished communities that in the end it affects the most. On top of that, I constantly am seeing these influencers kind of create like fake insecurities in their viewers to where they're inclined to buy the product that they're affiliated with to generate profit, which I get is part of what being an influencer is. But I feel like in recent years, I've just been hearing a lot of my friends tell me these insecurities that I didn't even know existed. And I'm like, what are you talking about? To create demand for a product, you have to first create a problem and then a solution. And that's exactly what these influencers are doing when they create these insecurities in their viewers.
Like, God forbid you have a wrinkle. Do you know what I'm saying? On top of the creation of these insecurities, it's also the creation of the need to get the new hottest piece of clothes or makeup palette. I've had this makeup palette longer than I want to admit. Like, you don't need that new pair of jeans you see on your feet just because the model looked amazing in them. I can tell you right now, you probably have like 10 pairs of jeans in your drawer, 5 of which you haven't worn in months. You don't need it. Genuinely, we don't need to produce more stuff. We have enough stuff. I also worked in fashion for about 2 years, and the overconsumption of clothes and the fashion industry itself is extremely harmful. It kind of made me dislike the industry and I left. I love the art of fashion design and their work is an art in itself, but this is another situation where we've lost the plot and we're no longer consuming fashion because it's high quality, it's art. We're consuming fashion because it's quick and the trends come and go. And guess where those trends end up? It's not being donated when you drop it off in that bin and think you're doing something good. You're not. Your shirt isn't helping a child with no clothes. They have too much clothes. I can put some documentaries up on the screen that I've watched in recent years that kind of articulate this better than I am right now, but it's quite shocking what we've been told when it comes to donating your clothes. It's fine if you do a closet clean out and donate your clothes, that's good, when instead you should just be shopping in your own closet. The point I'm trying to make is that we just have enough stuff, and the fact that there is things like TikTok shop and this influencer affiliate marketing is having a very, very harmful effect, and I feel like it's not talked about enough. And it's something I think about a lot. I'm a very conscious consumer. Whenever I'm buying something, I think, do I really need it? How long will this last? Is this a trend? Those things go through my mind, and I think that I just wanted to get that off my chest. I also want to get better at talking to a camera, so I thought, like, my first Get Ready With Me, I could talk about a topic that I can talk about for hours. But yeah, let me know your opinion on this topic in the comments because I'm curious on other takes when it comes to the topic of overconsumption on this app, on Instagram, and just in social media as a whole.
Another reason why I'm telling y'all to get off social media is because we know too much. We know too much right now. Y'all don't find it odd at the overconsumption of information that's happening? Yes, I'm all about being informed, but then it gets to a point where it's just like, this is, you know too much. We're in too much grown folks' business right now. And it's a distraction. If you are overly consumed with things outside of you, that means you are limiting the time that you have within yourself. Right? You see what I'm saying? And if right now we are in a very mentally oriented time, the only way that they be able to throw off your mental is to have you consume information that your conscious mind and subconscious mind are fighting against. So where your subconscious mind is trying to create the plan for your desires and for you to get, to rewrite the program, your conscious mind is focusing on the disasters, the problems, the issues, the drama, the gossip. It's conflicting each other. Now your energy is depleted because you've engaged in so much bullshit that your soul is tired because it can't keep filtering out bullshit. So you got to get off the internet. You got to go live life because it takes more energy for you to physically live life than it does for you to overconsume someone else's.
Y'all want to know what I'm tired of seeing when I get on the internet? Y'all didn't ask, but I'm going to tell y'all. I am tired of seeing so much overconsumerism. Like, it's ridiculous what you see when you get on the internet. And as a person that once was a big overconsumer, I can speak about this because I've lived it. It has gotten so bad that people are buying things that they don't need. And sometimes things I want, but they really don't even want it. They just get it because that's what people are getting. Like, I've had to catch myself of like buying a lot of makeup and makeup products because I've been influenced or I've seen it like, oh, I gotta have that or I gotta try it. And over the past like few months, I have really like reeled it in of like, let me use what I have first. Because if you constantly buy stuff, like I've had stuff that's in overstock. I've had stuff that I had to give away because I have so much of it that I don't utilize all those things. And so I get on the internet and all I see is somebody pushing you like, oh, they're bad, they bad, they bad, and this. And we know that the internet is very influential, and it takes a very strong and sound mind to say no, because it's so easy to get sucked up in that stuff. Like the amount of money that I save from not overbuying or buying stuff just because I saw it, like it amazes me. And now I'm really trying to get myself stuff to look forward to, where it's like, okay, I want this, but it's like, it's not a dire need. You know, like, oh, this is something I really want. Let's revisit this in another month or 2 or 3, or let's say I'm gonna buy this at this time. You know, it's just becoming too much. Like, these influencers are just, you know, I know they don't be mindful of the people that follow them, and it's their job to get you to buy these things. But us as people, we got to say no. We got to say no, because it's becoming too much. It's becoming too much. I get on the internet and I see people with a gazillion things, and it's like, there's no way in hell you utilizing everything that you buy. You just not. And if you do, you use it one time and it's one and done. We got to say no, y'all. I've started. Who's joining me?
We should be spending money like our parents spent money in the 90s. Did we get so obsessed with stuff? I was talking to my mom about how now that I'm not working, we got to really reel in our budget. I can't just be getting my nails done. And she was kind of baffled. She was like, this is how people lived in the 90s. Like, we never got our nails done weekly. You guys got one set of clothing at the beginning of the year, and then you wore that until you grew out of it, or it was the summer and you needed like your shorts and your t-shirt. If we needed something, we had to just go to the grocery store. She's just like, there wasn't as many like things bombarding us from every angle of like purchase, sale. We had like 3 pairs of pants and 5 shirts, and that's what you wore. There was no jeans, light jeans, stretchy jeans, barrel jeans, wide leg jeans. When did that happen? Really need to think about how I spend my money, and like, does my kid need this because they've outgrown it, or do I just think they need those cute Easter pajamas? Like, who's gonna see them in their Easter jammies besides me? I know there's a lot of like raising my kids to be 90s kids. We should be spending money like our parents did in the 90s.
You know how I knew we were in hell? When we started normalizing people apologizing for owning too many books because it promotes overconsumption.
I don't think it is possible to overconsume literature. I think it is possible to overconsume books. Okay, I love Eden and I usually agree with most of her takes, but this one was just not it for me. I think it is disingenuous to act like it is impossible to overconsume books, especially in this current era of book talk and the publishing industry where it stands, right? Especially, and stay with me on this, special editions of books and people owning multiple editions of the same book, right? Because the thing is, when it comes to owning multiple editions of the same book, the books then are no longer just about the actual reading. The books are no longer serving their primary purpose as education or entertainment or literature, but instead they're being used as decoration, right? Or used as a prop or a status symbol. I'm not saying that as soon as a book is being used as a decoration, that is overconsumption. I am saying that it is then possible to overconsume, if that makes sense. To use an imperfect example, no one would ever say that hydration is a bad thing or that reusable water bottles are a bad thing, right? Save the environment, hydrate yourself, love that. But then when there are people who have 30, 40, 50 Stanley cups because they're decoration or a status symbol or whatever, then that is overconsumption. I think it is possible to overconsume when the thing that you are buying is no longer being used for its primary purpose, but is being used for something else. I don't think it is possible to overconsume literature. I think it is possible to overconsume books when they're no longer being used as literature, but they're being used as decorations instead. I think this is possible when it comes to people that own 30 plus copies of the same book because there are different special editions and things like that. The point I'm trying to make is it is possible to overconsume books when they're no longer being used as literature, but when they're being used as decorations or status symbols, right? That number might be different for everyone, and I am not here to judge people on what they spend their money on. But let's not pretend that buying books can never be overconsumption, because I think that they very much can. I hope this all makes sense. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Please leave down in your comments what you think. Do you think that it's possible to overconsume books? Or do you think that I'm overreacting? Because a lot of people agreed with Eden's video. So now I'm like, well, am I the wrong person here? But yes, let me know what you think. Keep it cute in the comments and happy reading.
Hi, I'm an environmentalist and let's react to this video. I appreciate that the glass containers are labeled, so yeah, I really appreciate that. However, all those dryer balls can't fit into that container, so we either need a bigger container or it could have stayed in its original packaging. The scent booster could have stayed in its original packaging. I mean, it fits the aesthetic, it's pink. This could have stayed in its original packaging too. However, I do understand it and can see how helpful it could be if it was in the other container. I'm curious, how many laundry products do you use when you wash your laundry? Let me know in the comments.
The second easiest way to stop impulse spending can happen in about 5 seconds. I will tell you what the first easiest way is, but I guarantee you're not going to do it. I'm Crystal, ex-shopaholic and ex-marketer. So I know personally and professionally that impulse buying runs on context and momentum. First easiest way to stop shopping is to turn off your phone. But I know you're not going to do that. I can't do that. So the second easiest way is you're just going to leave the room and go to a different room. This works because of something called the doorway effect. Psychologists discovered that when you walk through a literal doorway, your brain resets your working memory. It's also the reason why when we leave a room, we forget what we left that room to go get. So you don't need more discipline. You just need a doorway. Now, stay on for the rest of the video if you want to learn how to make this even more powerful. If you can change the context, that will make it stick. If you are spiraling on skincare at midnight, go outside and get some fresh air on your face. If you are in a Le Creuset rabbit hole and shopping for cookware, and they really want you to get the matching sets, don't they? Then you're just gonna go into your bedroom and you're gonna lie down in the pillow, face down for 30 seconds. I know this sounds ridiculous, but just keep this last point in mind. Impulses do not need to be controlled. They do not need to be constrained. They just need to be interrupted. If you give an impulse 90 seconds of interruption, then it loses most of its power over you. If you do this consistently, then you start creating the space to buy things that actually matter for your life instead of whatever the algorithm decided you needed at 1 o'clock in the morning. Follow to rewire how